Ran into a couple people earlier this morning that was even commenting on how humid it was outside. Really haven't had a whole lot of humidity problems here as we get through middle of May. We know it creeps up, and that's the same atmospheric water that is going to be able to bring us thunderstorm activity for the rest of the nighttime into tomorrow. Now, before we get there, you step outside, it's not too bad. Yeah, like I said, you may notice the humidity a little bit, but temperature-wise, it's really hard to complain. 70 in Miami, 75 in Joplin, 68 right now in Iola, and still paying attention to Monette and Cassville, seeing if they can get to 80 degrees by the end of the news at noon. And the reason that it is warmer out to the east, those shifting winds moved in from the northwest, and so that's why we're still seeing 60s that are out in the northwestern portion. But also, too, remember the dividing line as it collapses to the southeast is exactly where we get our collision course with the moisture and the instability. As far as that relative humidity goes, that's pretty good for this time of year. Look at down to the south right here. Tulsa sits at 90%, Oklahoma City at 88%, and that's because everything has worked its way up from the Gulf today. It's been very, very consistent, and if anything, remember the purple is dry. You get into the light blue, that's more moisture as far as the precipitable water goes, and it's simply going to spread up to the Midwest for the course of the day. Then we talk about the convective available potential energy. What's up there in the atmosphere? How unstable can it get? We haven't seen a large amount of movement right here, but still, we are seeing it growing massive right here in what we like to call the old Arklatex region. So it'll make a gradual northward migration, but that's why all our thunderstorm activity is going to start to the south before it makes its way up to the forestays. Now, as we sit here at the noon hour, certainly not looking too bad, a little bit cloudy. I do want to point out they had tornado warnings and watches through Tennessee. Luckily, no storm reports from earlier this morning, and really on the backside of it, you get from about, St. Louis and Cape, take that line down from the Mississippi, and not a whole lot of morning action so far. But the jet stream beginning to gather down there, push that big trough all the way down to Mexico, extremely warm. That's going to cause extreme instability here. And so when we talk about our weather trend, let's get to the important stuff and talk about what's going to develop here during the evening hours. Starts out as May showers for the most part, and not looking at anything too impressive. That's about 4 or 5 o'clock. But coming on the backside of that, now we've got thunderstorm activity, and you'll notice this is going to carry us after sunset into Tuesday morning. Widespread heavy rain, especially when you move to the south, and now we've got an increased threat for hail and wind as these bands continue through the Tuesday morning commute and actually last past Tuesday at the noon hour. On the severe thunderstorm risk map, we have been able to back off the elevated portion for the four states. Actually push that down just to about Benton County. Earlier, it did involve Delaware and a portion of Berry. But even when you see that low, that yellow, that's the increase for the wind and the hail. That threat does kind of wane just a little bit as you work to the northwest. If you can sneak in anything today and this afternoon, that's when you need to do it, because we're not going to have the chance on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be soggy, especially in the south. Thursday, that's going to be scattered. That is not going to be as widespread. And for those of you that enjoy cooler than normal temperatures, you are in luck, as our daily highs sit in the 60s, overnight lows hanging in